Good morning, Catherine McLean here, Vice President for Communications at the Lance Armstrong Foundation, and we are absolutely delighted to have with us today Her Royal Highness Princess Dina Mired of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. And I believe this might be your first visit to Austin, is that correct?
Yes.
Well, we're absolutely thrilled that you're here with us today. And can you tell us a little bit about your purpose for your visit?
Well, first of all, we've been partners for some time now with the LIVESTRONG Foundation, definitely meeting with the whole team at various capitals in the world, one time in Shenzhen, sometimes in Canada, during our work together globally at UICC and other places. And we thought it's about time to come and meet you at your own turf, to see the physical space of this amazing LIVESTRONG Foundation, to see what is it that drives all this energy of positivity and creativeness, and basically to share ideas together. We, as a King Hussein Cancer Foundation, we're a 10-year-old foundation, and you are, I think, this year celebrating your 15 years.
That's right.
So we're relatively new foundations in comparison with other cancer foundations worldwide, and we felt it's important to share ideas together, see what trials and tribulations that we both have, operationally, structurally, and share our successes together. And it has been an amazing conversation together. And what is really wonderful is that you really realize that we have similar issues.
Absolutely.
Similar issues, because humans are humans everywhere, donors are donors, and we've learned a lot from each other just by few meetings that we've done today.
Absolutely, yeah. And I know that one of the priorities that both the King Hussein Cancer Foundation and LIVESTRONG have championed is access to care. And I wonder if you could talk a little bit about how we've worked together on improving access to care.
Well, I'm very honored to be co-chairing the Harvard Global Task Force for Access to Care. And I think the most important thing that we've been doing is to put the issue on the global agenda. I think many people worldwide, certainly in the developed world, they don't realize that there is an epidemic in the making.
Absolutely.
And that quality cancer care in the developed world is literally non-existent, because cancer is so expensive, be it the medicines, the machinery, and let alone the human resources that are needed to deliver cancer care. And so Lance and I, on the Global Task Force, with many fantastic brains on this task force that Felicia Noel has been able to assemble, we have been, first of all, trying to highlight that there is an issue, which of course culminated in with the NCD Alliance and all the partners, the UICC, American Cancer Society, and so on, culminated in the second high-level meeting at the UN last year. And that was a huge feat, because people just thought that the developing world are only busy with malaria, tuberculosis, and so on, and they didn't realize that few years down the line, having survived these diseases, millions and millions of people will have no access to cancer care, and it's just an epidemic in the making. And I think that's the most important thing that we're doing right now to push the agenda forward. And I would say the challenge now is to make sure that the implementation of the follow-up of the high-level meeting stays strong, and it's only by working together that we can do so.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why we've been so grateful to have you as a partner, and particularly for your perspective. For example, I think at the Lance Armstrong Foundation, we always look for the opportunities in global cancer control. The challenges are obvious, as you just explained, but what do you see as the great opportunities that lie ahead for us to make advances in global cancer control?
You know, I think that people really have to understand that when you talk about those fancy terms, access to cancer care or inequity or opportunities and so on, it is very real to countries in the developing world what this means to them. For instance, as my job as the Director General of the King Hussein Cancer Foundation, everything that you speak about in those sort of scientific terms, we see it every day. We see people coming in to our offices, real people, a mother with a child in tow and crying her eyes out, a child perhaps having leukemia that we all know has a 90% chance of a cure, and literally looks to us and say, will you treat me? This is as basic as we are getting.
Mm-hmm.
So the opportunities out there is the impact that if we all work together and band together as cancer foundations to really make a difference, the opportunity is saving the lives of millions and millions of people who could be saved. That's the tragedy of it all. When they talk about leukemia, a child in the US has 90% chance of a cure, a child in Africa has 10% chance. And so again, as we all say it, and we say it time and time again, we know the science, we know the protocols, we know just how to deliver that on the doorstep of a mother that literally comes to our foundation and says, will you treat my daughter? So this is the opportunity, if I can put it as simply as that.
I don't think it could be put any better than that, putting it in human terms, absolutely. And my final question, if you don't mind, we often ask people what LiveStrong means to them. LiveStrong has many different meanings for many people, and I wonder what it means to you.
The whole notion of actually surviving cancer, let alone live strong, let alone survivorship, in many countries in the developing world, and certainly in Jordan, before the King Hussein Cancer Foundation started to churn out survivors.
Mm-hmm.
You have to put yourself in that context. And in many countries still today, they don't have survivors, let alone knowing that they don't see public figures who have survived.
Mm-hmm.
But all of us, somewhere or another, well before I got to know about Lance and to have our partner, we all heard of this amazing human being that has beaten the odds, that he survived cancer, and that not only did he survive it, he actually went on to beat other human beings who are super healthy inside. So we had heard about that. And the impact of that was huge, because in the development, but still is today, and certainly starting to get better in Jordan, is that survivorship only means to them being alive.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, just jump that hurdle
Right.
of the disease and just be alive with your heart still beating.
Mm-hmm.
That's the meaning of survivorship. And I think the LiveStrong Foundation, and through Lance's embodiment, and he's sort of the living proof of that vision, is that you've taken on survivorship to mean a whole new level. That not only can you survive the disease, not only can you live past it, but you also can live strong, and most importantly, that you can resume the dreams that you had before. And that attitude and that positivity is so contagious. I wish it can be put in a bottle that we can just sell it up and pass it on to everybody that you know.